of the show. Hi, I'm Michael Costa.
And I'm Candace Bailey.
Candace Bailey, right there, right where her thing was, right there, Candace Bailey. Friend of the show, Janina Gavankar will be here live.
Yes, she will.
She stars in True Blood, The League, and upcoming in Arrow. 3 shows. Hopefully I'll get some career advice from her.
Yeah, you need it. I need it. And Tiffany Smith finds the people that pretended to find Bin Laden. You'll hear from the stars of Zero Dark 30. And later, Matt Meyer reviews James Bond's phone in Gadget Pr0n.
Well, just another attack of the show.
Just another
attack of the show.
Our last live attack of the show. I might cry.
But let's just
not yet. Not yet.
Okay, let's talk about something.
Christmas.
Let's talk about something
Let's
fun.
talk about Christmas. I love Christmas.
What are your plans for Christmas?
I am going home to Florida for Christmas, spending it there, spending New Year's with my best friend, hanging out, with the fam.
Is it weird? I'm from Michigan. For me, Christmas was cold.
Yeah.
But what about in Florida? What was it cool growing up with like a warm Christmas? Why is that cool?
No. See, people don't know this, but where I grew up in Florida, it was not hot.
Okay.
I mean, it was sometimes it's very humid and it's sometimes very hot. But in the winters, it usually I checked the weather forecast for next week, and the lows are down in the 30s.
Whoa!
Y'all,
whoa!
I could take a glass of water, stick it out on the front porch, and it would turn to slush.
What?
I used to do that. It's very exciting. But I have had hot Christmases where I wake up and it's like 90 degrees, and nothing sucks more than a hot Christmas.
Yeah, but it's funny how you say a hot Christmas sucks, because when I hear hot Christmas, I think of something different.
Hot? I mean, I just saw that thought you had.
Oh, sorry.
But I think that was more of a precious Christmas.
That was
I don't know
maybe
about so much hot.
That was maybe more of a precious or a cute Christmas.
That was a cute Christmas.
Not a hot Christmas.
But I like it. I like where your mind goes.
That would be my ideal Christmas with Candace and Sarah. Hey.
Time to run down the topics.
We're going around the net. Wow.
Is an important video about child safety, accompanied by the soaring ode to racing away, the theme from Chariots of Fire.
Oh!
Whoa! We got it!
I've always hated Eagles, especially Don Henley.
Isn't the worst Eagle Glenn Frey? I mean, he wrote Smuggler's Blues. That song can go to hell.
Go to hell, Smuggler's Blues!
And now, let's head to the Netherlands, where they finally solved all their home security problems.
U kunt het al een beetje horen, hè? Ja, rustig, my lady. Het is de baas. Een anti-inbraak blafversterker. Want als er niet wordt ingebroken, dan krijgen we bij een chat misschien wel geld terug.
Now remember, if you're poisoning your neighbor's dog, remember to poison for the weight it is, not the weight it sounds.
Dog poisoning is not funny, Michael Costa.
Candace, no actual dogs were poisoned in that joke. That joke was poisoned.
Trains are one of the safest forms of transportation, most of the time.
Holy. Tell you what, the real losers here, the 9 hobos passed out in that train car. Rest in peace, gentle hobos.
Oh, that's horrible. For more train wrecks, visit michaelcosta.com.
You bitch!
Yeah! Take that! Did you call me a bitch?
I didn't call you a bitch. Let's keep moving on. Oh!
And now, a ninja faces his greatest enemy, fruit.
Okay, yeah, let's do this. Yeah, let's go. Looking in my eyes, you never wanna cross me. Sensei, cause you don't wanna top me. Back down, not a master chef, I'm like a tree-trunk Superman.
That guy's never seen a piece of fruit before in his life.
That's so mean. And finally, like I have to do this every day with this guy. Here's some heavy lifting.
Come on, Candace. Looks like someone put creatine in Grandma's Metamucil.
She has got roid rage. Hemorrhoid rage. Thank you, Internet.
You were always there for us. That's my roid rage.
Really?
Still ahead, Cara Santa Maria tells if tomorrow's the end of the world.
It'll be the end of something, that's for sure. Find out what after this.
AOTS. Science is hard unless you've got senior correspondent for the Huffington Post with you. Welcome, Cara Santa Maria. Santa Maria. Thank you very much for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Let's start with Voyager 1. It reached the end of the solar system?
You could call it that.
Yeah?
It reached something that scientists are now calling the magnetic highway, which is kind of like the on-off ramp of the solar system.
Okay.
The sphere around the sun is called the heliosphere, the sun sphere, makes sense.
Yeah.
And when it reaches the edge of that, there's a magnetic shift. You know, the solar wind coming out is pushing against particles that are coming in from interstellar space beyond the solar system. And we're getting signals from Voyager that it's just butting up against that edge of deep space, which is amazing.
I mean, I don't even know what you just said.
Yes, you do.
But it sounds amazing. Now, the golden record is on Voyager 1, right? And I just learned about this because I'm a jock and I like sports, okay? I know you're thinking it. Boo. What is on the Boo Sports?
What are these sports you speak of?
It's so silly. What is on the golden record?
So you can see
Yes.
an image of the golden record there. It's amazing. So this spacecraft, Voyager, left in the middle of the 70s. It's
Yes.
35 years ago. It's been hurling through space. It's about to leave our solar system. And on it, during that time, Carl Sagan led up a board to decide what to do with this golden record. It's something of a time capsule that's attached to the spacecraft. There's actually a needle and instructions for how to build a record player.
Hilarious.
And it has so much stuff in it. It has sounds from Earth, you know, different birds, different ocean creatures, different sounds like the wind in the forest. It has messages spoken in 55 different languages. It even has a little portion on the cover that's a uranium isotope, so that if aliens were to find this, you know, thousands, millions of years into the future, they could actually calculate, based on the radioactive decay, how long ago we sent this record out into space.
This is Things Intense.
Yeah,
Right.
this is Things Intense.
This Things Intense. What should be on the golden record? An episode of Attack of the Show. the real top echelon of humanity.
Well, the really cool thing is that on this record is a map to get back to Earth. So we're sending this out, and even after, you know, we all know that one day Voyager will die. One day all of the components on it are going to stop working, even though it's still going strong 35 years later. One day it's going to die, but it'll be kind of this frozen time capsule, and if any kind of advanced life were to find it, they might be able to find us.
Isn't it kind of arrogant that we think people want to find us?
Well, we want to, yes and no, but you know what? We are constantly searching for intelligent life. We're always looking for habitable zones, regions around stars where water could be, where an Earth or a planet could support life. And so, I mean, if we're always looking for it, I don't think it's unreasonable to think they might be looking for us.
That's true. Let's move on to the superstring theory. Now, you recently said, what is the superstring theory? Something just happened, and I don't know what it's called.
So for my video series on HuffPost called Talk Nerdy to Me, I recently did an episode where I sat down with a theoretical cosmologist, so somebody who studies string theory, and we just talked about what string theory is.
That was the word I couldn't say. Theoretical cosmologist.
It's a very simple primer on the site, but you can click there to learn more about it. Basically, we just talked about what are strings, which would be, according to this theory, which not all physicists agree with, but many physicists think it's probably one of the only real ways to show quantum mechanics and special relativity kind of working together. And so basically strings are these teeny tiny things. They're smaller than the smallest particles that we can find with the Large Hadron Collider.
Okay.
And the idea is that these strings vibrate at different frequencies. So imagine that you have a guitar.
Yeah, dumb it down.
Imagine.
Here's what she's doing. Do you like music,
All
moron?
right, let's go to Appalachia. Okay, we're gonna go to Appalachia. You're missing some teeth, and you have a one-string guitar.
There we go.
And you're playing this one-string guitar, but you can still make a song because depending on where you play the string, it's going to be resonating at different frequencies. So these individual strings, if you look at them like the string of a guitar, depending on how much they vibrate, how much energy they possess, they are going to represent the different kind of fundamental building blocks of our universe. So string theorists think that there is something smaller than the smallest subatomic particles. It's these individual strings that make up the universe.
Okay, you are the smartest person I've ever met, so I'm going to ask you the most challenging question. Is the world going to end on Friday?
No.
No, it's not. We know! Oh my God, we know! So
we'll still be here.
So I still have to show up to my court date on Friday?
You do.
Damn
But
it.
that doesn't mean you shouldn't go to all of the end of the world parties happening Thursday night.
There's tons of these end of the world parties happening. We got it. We got the answer. We have to say thanks to Cara Santa Maria from the Huffington Post. And now more zombies.
With Resident Evil Retribution hitting Blu-ray and DVD this week, and the latest game out in stores, now is the perfect time to take a stroll down the zombie-chomping memory lane. Originally titled Biohazard in Japan, the Resident Evil video game made its debut on the PlayStation in 1996. It focused on a pair of police officers, Chris Redfield and Jill Valentine, as they investigated a series of grisly murders on the outskirts of Raccoon City.
Hope this is not Chris's blood.
However, they would soon find themselves stuck in a mansion full of traps, puzzles, and of course, zombies. As they delved deeper into the house, they uncovered that an evil pharmaceutical corporation called Umbrella was behind the infestation and would barely escape with their lives. Resident Evil was a huge success, and many credit it with launching the survival horror genre in video games. Due to this, Capcom quickly pushed the sequel into production, and in 1998, Resident Evil 2 dropped. The story picked up 2 months later, but this time, Raccoon City had fallen to Umbrella's T-virus, turning its population into zombies. Players were forced to head into Umbrella's underground lab, only to face worse terrors and uncover more of the company's sinister plot.
Umbrella was behind everything.
Resident Evil 2 was a smash, selling nearly 5 million copies, and would spawn one more sequel for the PlayStation, Resident Evil Nemesis, before it jumped ship to the next-gen console, the Dreamcast, with code Veronica in 2000. It wasn't long before Hollywood took notice of the success of the series and decided to bring the horror franchise to the silver screen in 2002. Based on elements from the first two games, Resident Evil debuted a new character, Alice, played by Mila Jovovich, who teamed up with a group of Umbrella commandos as they attempted to stop the outbreak of the T-virus. The film was a box office success, earning over $100 million worldwide, and in 2004, Alice's story would continue in Resident Evil Apocalypse, as she attempted to escape with other survivors from the zombie-infested Raccoon City. Back on the gaming front, the franchise updated itself with the action-oriented Resident Evil 4. Players attempted to save the life of the president's daughter from a mysterious cult.
I'll have total control over your mind.
It was a critical smash, ending up on many reviewers' best of 05 lists. The series continued with Resident Evil 5, focusing on Chris Redfield's investigation of bioterrorism in Africa and introducing co-op to the series. It was around this time that the third and fourth films were released, with the third film, Extinction, focusing on Alice crossing the Mojave Desert to Alaska to escape the undead. The story continued with Afterlife, where Alice would fly to Los Angeles to take on the head of the evil Umbrella Corporation, leading us to the new film, Retribution.
What's up?
So now you're caught up on all things Resident Evil. Go experience the next chapter in zombie awesomeness when Resident Evil Retribution hits Blu-ray and DVD this Friday.
Still ahead, the stars of Zero Dark 30 talk torture and working on a movie where everyone knows how it ends. Stick around.
Resident Evil Retribution on Blu-ray and DVD Friday, December 21st.
You know, for years, people have been asking me what is the best affordable sports car. And for years, I've been telling them the Mazda Miata. In fact, since 1989, the Miata has been pretty much the only game in town when it comes to lightweight driving fun. And you wouldn't think the Miata's first true competition would come from Toyota. But here's the thing, it has. This is the Scion FRS, or as enthusiasts refer to it, the 86. The original 86 was a lightweight coupe version of the Corolla, last produced in 1987, which retains a cult following due to its low weight and rear drive architecture. This FRS is designed to channel the spirit of that car and bring back driving enthusiasm to the Toyota brand. Co-developed with Subaru, which makes a version of the car called the BRZ, the Scion FRS goes against today's raging horsepower war by removing hardware instead of adding it. Every part of the FRS is designed to enhance the driving experience, not detract from it, which is why there are no options and no frills. There's nothing in this car that will make you forget why you bought it in the first place, because your first priority once inside is driving. Let's get to some numbers. The FRS is small, and I mean 16 inches shorter than a Hyundai Genesis Coupe. It's also very light. At 2,800 pounds, it's 700 pounds lighter than a V6 Ford Mustang. The engine is a Subaru 2-liter flat 4, makes 200 horsepower and 151 pounds of torque. Doesn't sound like much, but it's not much car to move around either. And it's mounted so low in the engine compartment that the FRS actually has the lowest center of gravity of any car being produced today. It's also very slippery. The drag coefficient is 0.27, just worse than a Prius, which helps this car actually get 31 highway miles per gallon. Not bad. The most important thing you need to know about the FRS is that it's rear-wheel drive, unlike so many other small kind of economy cars. Front-wheel drive is okay for most people, especially if you're not an enthusiast, but if you are an enthusiast, there is no substitute for a rear-wheel drive layout, for a couple of reasons. One is balance. By having the transaxle and the drive wheels in the back, it improves the balance of the car through corners. There's less understeer, and honestly, it's just a lot more fun. And then, of course, you've got the drift. In In a front-wheel drive car, if you're going too hot through a corner, the car will understeer or push. It'll want to go straight while you're turning the wheel. In a rear-wheel drive car, you can use the throttle to balance out that understeer, and by feeding more of it in, you can literally bring the back end around. Right about now, you're probably thinking the FRS is just about perfect. I mean, look at me, I'm having a blast. But not everything is as perfect as it seems. If I had to think of some areas where the car is lacking, I'd like a little more power, I would, but I think a turbo will come with time. As somebody with a history of back problems, I'd like an adjustable lumbar support. It comes with these low rolling resistance tires for street use, but if I was gonna be doing any kind of real performance driving, I'd want a set of sticky tires. I just love how agile it is, how nimble it is, how it really wants to dance with me. The bottom line is this: if you're a driver, you cannot buy a better car for less money. Sure, if you live in Orlando or Detroit where there's no curves, V6 Mustang all the way. It's right there. But if your drive includes turns, and if you're the kind of guy who likes the track, the canyons, or autocross, this car is absolutely perfect. And I can't wait to see what the tuners do with it in the upcoming years.
All the news you need to know.
The feed.
I'm Sarah Underwood, and here are your top stories. Today, Twitter officially introduced a new feature that lets its users download every tweet they've ever sent. Called the Twitter Archive, you can sort your tweets by month or search for specific words, phrases, hashtags, and even usernames. The feature is being rolled out slowly with only a small number of people having access to it today, but over the coming weeks, the service should be available to everyone in the Twitter sphere. And Verizon's Redbox Instant service has launched a private beta today. If you're interested, you can be one of the few to test it out. All you have to do is go to redboxinstant.com and sign up to receive a free 1-month trial. After that month is up, you have the option to pay either $6 a month for streaming only or $8 for streaming and DVD rental privileges from any Redbox kiosk. And Wii U owners finally have a bit of good news. I know. Nintendo has announced that its long-delayed service, Nintendo TV, will launch tomorrow. Yay! In case you don't remember, the feature combines various streaming services along with your cable and DVR into a single searchable app. When it launches tomorrow, users will have access to Hulu Plus and Amazon Instant Video, but will still have to wait for Netflix and TiVo. Now, you guys remember the painting of Jesus that got an ugly makeover from an old woman earlier this year? Right, okay, well, the woman who botched the famous fresco just sold an original piece of her artwork on eBay. The 80-year-old artist, shall we call her, commissioned a painting titled Las Bodegas de Borja, or for us gringos, Borjas Wine Cellar. The painting got 52 bids before being sold for just over $1,400. Not bad at all. And the good news is she will be donating all of the proceeds to charity, so that's nice. And finally, what do Bruce Willis, Channing Tatum, RZA, and The Rock all have in common? Abs? Oh, yeah. Also, they're all in this sweet new trailer for G.I. Joe Retaliation. Check it out.
The Duke. See that? Security's early. They're all dead. There's only one man could authorize a strike like that. And I voted for him. You're insane.
My fellow world leaders, you're looking at an advanced weapons system capable of destroying each of your countries 14 times over. 15 in the case of North Korea. And all at the push of a button.
We have to assume that there's no one we can trust.
There is one man. General.
Call me Joe.
Drive it like you stole it.
As your good friend,
You need a new catchphrase.
Know much about where I'm from, but I know I strike fear everywhere I come. Government,
let's get to work.
So I wear my gun. I really want the rocket launcher, but I'm too young. This movie give me courage not to fear no one, to feel no pain and hear no tongue. So I hear no screams and I shed no tears.
The president says they can't come out of retirement. They didn't say anything about re-enlisting.
Here's a Zero Dark 30 spoiler. Bin Laden dies at the end.
On September 11th, 2001, the United States was crippled in a devastating attack on its own soil. 10 years later, the hunt for the man responsible comes to its gripping conclusion in Zero Dark 30, the story of how we caught and killed Osama bin Laden.
I'm gonna break you. Any questions?
So would you say one of the main themes of this film is if you mess with the United States, we will hunt you down and take you out?
I think it shows what America is capable of, and that there's some incredible people out there doing some incredible things for everybody's benefit.
It's a movie that does justice to the importance of what really did occur.
Lead female roles in movies are always defined by the men. They're the love interest or they're a victim of the man in the film, but Maya's the opposite. She's just strong, capable, and she completely stands on her own. She can't get credit for what she did because she's actually an undercover agent.
Oh my God, is that what I think it is?
It's not all James Bond. I mean, this film sticks to the facts and shows how it really goes down. It's sweat, it's pounding the pavement, you know, it's the day in, day out, as you see what they really go through to get what they need to get, you know, and what it costs and what it takes and the excitements and the highs and the lows, because these are real people and you have to, you know, show it as it was.
Seeing the inner workings of the CIA, how impressed were you guys?
You'll never know these people. You'll never hear about what they do. They're shrouded in mystery. And they are normal people, though, that live like you and I do. They have children, but their dedication is such that they go to the other side of the world, put their lives in the line, and they live there for years on end doing what they do. And it's great to be able to do honor to that dedication by representing them in the film as well.
It's extraordinary to be able to be taken behind the scenes of the last 11 years and see what has been happening that we were not aware of, certainly not in detail.
And I think part of the allure of espionage is some of the surveillance and communications and technology and all of that stuff. Was there anything in the film where you were just really impressed?
I've never seen some of the equipment that was used, and some of the equipment did never exist. It was created because some of the equipment has never been seen.
Like the stealth helicopters. They've never been seen.
Watching the torture scenes for me were some of the most difficult to watch. Were there ever moments where you were like, I can't believe that we did this?
There's no way those scenes, as difficult as they are to watch, and as even more difficult as it is to know that those things actually happened, it's necessary that it's all there for us to come away with our own personal questions about it.
There's a lot of questions, important questions that the film asks the viewers to take in. It's an incredible movie.
I loved it. Every single moment of being in a story, which is going to break open something for people and allow them to connect their heart and mind and emotion to something, you know, that's inside us all.
Does it suck working on a movie where the whole world knows how it ends?
Well, here's the thing. I think most people think they know what this movie is and how it ends, but I think they're going to be very surprised when they see the film and they realize it's not quite the story they expected.
The whole world's gonna win in on this.
From the ashes of our greatest tragedy, we rose. We sought and we won our retribution. See the day of reckoning unfold in Zero Dark 30.
Unflappable CIA tracking lady. Stay tuned. Janina Gavankar will be here live. She's a pretty lady on the league and a horse on True Blood. So versatile.
The feed is brought to you by AT&T. Rethink possible.
Please welcome our good friend Janina Gavankar.
It's a packed house today.
It's totally a packed house, and we were talking off camera. It's kind of come full circle, hasn't it?
It is. I started my time at Attack of the Show in this seat right here.
In that seat right there.
Yeah, but there was no fire, so I'm thankful for this fire because it's cold in LA right now, y'all.
But Janina, that's not a real fire.
What?
Yes.
Mind blown.
Thank you. It's everyone. When I was figuring out and realizing that I was going to interview you, everyone's like, "She's great. She's a fan of the show. She's the best." Everyone's like, "I'm like, just shut up, okay? Let me make my own decision about her." They all love you here, and that's probably why it's a packed house right here with everybody here.
Look at all those people.
Look at all those people.
Yay.
Okay.
What do you want to know?
I want to know.
Person who doesn't know me.
I don't know a lot about you.
Okay, well.
Are you Greek?
No, but my name is.
Okay, so that's just what I've had issues with.
Why?
Because you said to me, "Are you Greek?"
Yeah.
And I said, "I'm not Greek." And I.
But you're Greek by ethnicity.
I'm not Greek by ethnicity.
What are you?
I'm a mix of Ukrainian and Irish. Booing the Ukrainians? Booing the Ukrainians! Janina.
I like the cutaway, yeah.
There is a lot of pent-up anger in that audience.
There is.
You can't boo a nation that it's only known for a nuclear power disaster.
Apparently you can.
Do people ask you all the time if you're Greek?
No, they ask me if I'm whatever they have a cousin. If they have a cousin who's brown, they assume I'm whatever that cousin is.
And that's just an old trick at the bar to be like, "Oh my God, I want to talk to her." And then they go, "Hey, are you Scandinavian?"
Yeah, and I'm like, no. But you know who I would let you know Cara Santa Maria?
Yeah,
Who
I
is
know her.
brown?
Okay.
I was like, I'm sitting next to her in this green room back there, and I'm like, the second that chick has a biopic, I'm gonna fight everybody in this town to play her. 'Cause she is a badass.
She's badass.
Yeah.
And I mean this complimentarily to you, which is definitely not a word.
It's not a word.
It's nice speaking to someone, and then when you speak back, I know what you're saying. You know what I mean? Anyways, okay, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this.
Let's talk about anything you want.
You're nude a lot. in her acting. How is that? I mean, because then you meet fans of the show, or even, you know, you're just kind of a nerdy sci-fi. You've described yourself, and then you meet little nerdy sci-fi kids, and they've seen you nude.
Nah, whatever.
What are you talking about? That's what that medal. She has a medal on her jacket. That's what the medal for, just being coolest.
It's a medal of honor and valor.
Of honor and valor of being it. You get that when you do your first nude scene in LA. All right, so True Blood season 6 is coming up.
Yay!
Yes.
Yeah, we're back. We're back in action. It's crazy.
What can we look forward to with it?
A lot of nudity.
Okay. Yes, more medals for Janina.
No, you guys.
They literally.
I didn't say it was mine.
Yeah. No.
Listen.
I'm still okay with that.
It's, I mean, the show is incredible, and the writers are insane and very funny and very smart. The reason that the show is such a success is because they really are the smartest writers in Hollywood. So sorry to be serious about it, but that's very true.
Be serious.
Yeah, it's very true.
It's really easy to do a great job when you have great writers, and I wouldn't know what that's like. Janina, I apologize that you had to be a part of this. You're in so many TV shows that we don't even know what to talk about with you.
Well, we can talk about all of them, or none of them, or whatever.
Let's talk first about how you describe yourself as a nerd.
Yeah, well, geek, you know.
Geek,
nerd, dork, all these things. In the Venn diagram of identity, they definitely overlap, but...
What is it? What is one or the other?
I would say that a geek has a lot of the sensibilities of a nerd, but they are also socially okay.
Okay, a geek is more socially okay, right?
Yeah, I think. And also the geeks have won. So if I'm going to pick a team, that's who I'm
You
going
got to pick the
with.
geeks. You get it. Okay, I get it very much.
Yeah, but I am definitely a nerd. This is the most awesome audience I've ever had in this show. They're distracting at this point.
Yeah, they are distracting because
So-
we're trying to have a nice adult conversation, and Matt Myra's sitting there with his shaking his head like Lee Trevino and Happy Gilmore at me.
Okay, so
reference, Michael.
So everybody, I mean, a lot of people who are watching know that it's the geek strain runs strong in my DNA, and I mean, like I go to sci-fi conventions.
Yeah.
You know, but the thing is, I've sort of life hacked this somehow. I go to these conventions as an actor who happens to be on an applicable show, but the truth is I'm a fangirl completely,
Yeah.
and I'm behind the scenes talking to all of these actors like a creeper, like straight creeper, okay? Shamelessly, but somehow because I'm an actor, I have a pass. It's perfect.
That's awesome.
So I met Norman Reedus in Belgium, also met James Callis. Okay, can we talk about that for a second?
I mean, let's talk about James Callis. Huge fan of James Callis.
You have no idea who that is, do you?
James Callis invented those things you get on the bottom of your feet when you run around a lot.
If I said the name Gaius Baltar, would you know it by any chance?
You know, this is such a shame that we've run out of time. But we actually have run out of time. But we have to talk about the fact that you're not just an actress. You also have you sing.
Yeah, I do.
And you produce this single that's out right now. Tell us about this.
Okay, so I released my first single on Randy Jackson's label, and it's called Waiting for Godot, which is also kind of nerdy of me to call it that. It's a Samuel Beckett play title. So I produced it with a very good friend of mine named Corey Enemy, and I amassed my team of unsung heroes, and I produced a music video with them. Caitlin Pashelik, who's one of my very close friends, directed the video for me, and
the video is awesome.
Thank you.
It's fun.
We shot it all in one day and somehow pulled it off. I don't even know how, but
It's great. Please check it out, and
Please,
let's say
please
thanks to Janina Gavankar for stopping by.
Yay! It's back in the show.
Single Waiting for Godot is available now on iTunes.com. And now Candace.
Thanks. Stay tuned. Matt Myra gets his hands on an honest-to-God James Bond gadget. It's a Q Branch Gadget Pr0n.
Hey everyone, it's Matt Myra.
I did it.
Matt, what do you have for us today?
Well, Michael of the Ukraine, we have something that I'm personally very excited about it. It's the smartphone that James Bond uses in Skyfall.
Upgrade your status to 00 with the new Sony Xperia TL. This new Android phone boasts a 4.6-inch 720p display and is powered by a dual-core processor. And it features a 13-megapixel camera. This new phone can be yours for $49 with a contract.
Wow.
Yeah. That little video you watched cost more than Skyfall to make. Here it is. It's James Bond's phone. It's a Sony Xperia TL in America. In Europe, it's called the T. The design, I gotta say, it's not as elegant as I'd like for a James Bond phone. It's kind of bricky. You expect him to be wearing something that has like a nice tie, maybe a pocket square. He pops out this phone, you're like, come on, James, I got an iPhone, and then he shoots you. It's 5.1 inches tall, just over 2 inches wide, 2.5 inches wide. It does feel a little wide. Go ahead and hold that, doesn't it? Feels a little wide.
It feels wide to me.
Yeah, SIM card door. We got a SIM card confirmation from a Ukrainian, worth nothing. Why do I hate the Ukraine all of a sudden?
Apparently everyone
Look
hates
at
the
that. That's the SIM card door. That'll come right off. I would rip it off,
Flimsy,
but
yeah.
I plan on keeping this after we're done. So here's the deal. You got the SD card in there. You can expand the memory, no problem. The phone itself, 4.7 ounces. That's nice. It's nice and light.
Yeah.
It's balanced. It's a good thing. Screen is almost edge to edge.
Well, that's what I want to talk to you about.
Oh.
Because I like a great screen, but I'm not James Bond.
Right.
James Bond needs a great screen.
He does, and guess what? He's got a very good screen.
Wow.
1.55-inch LCD. Take a look at our logo. Oh, gorgeous.
Awesome.
There's you.
There's
you look
me.
very confused by whatever Gadget Pr0n that was.
I'm normally confused on this program.
Now, the size isn't big compared to most Android phones that are out there now. Look at Blair Butler. Oh my God, Chris Gore gets a block. He's on this once a week. Where's mine? Anyway, the brightness is very good on the phone. The viewing angle's okay. It's not as good as I'd like to see. Like, I'm looking over here, I'm like, I can't tell what secret messages are coming in. Oh, now I can.
Right, but that could be the difference between life and death.
Yeah,
if you're James
you
Bond.
don't know.
Yes. Right.
Touchscreen's also very responsive, too. So.
Okay, the phone needs to be fast. I mean, we're talking James Bond fast.
Right?
Is it?
Yeah, it certainly is fast because it's James Bond's phone.
Right.
It is a 1.5 gigahertz Snapdragon processor. Right? It's not one core processing. It is 2 cores.
Whoa.
1 gig of RAM, right? There should be more, honestly. It's running Ice Cream Sandwich. It's not the most up-to-date thing, but take a look. This thing, when you buy it, comes preloaded with your Skyfall background, right? I'm already on board. And because it's James Bond's phone, when someone calls you, it rings like this.
Don't tell me.
Yeah. I know. Look at this. That's exactly what you do.
Oh my God.
I mean, that is honestly worth the whole thing to me. That makes me so happy. And that's the new recording. It's not the old John Barry Orchestra recording. It's the newer, updated Skyfall recording, which I think is excellent. Critical commentary covered. We can play the song again.
Yes. It would be kind of a... Now, James Bond also likes to party a little bit.
Yeah,
we
know what to do at the party? Take some pictures, right?
We gotta take some pictures. How's the camera on this?
13 megapixels! Oh my God! Finally, more than the standard 8 megapixel. Let's take a look at this thing in light next to an iPhone 5. Go ahead, everybody. Bernardo! Look at this. You're getting a much clearer Bernardo with the Sony Xperia TL.
Right.
That's what I want. I want a clear Bernardo. I don't want a foggy, weird, fuzzy Bernardo. Although Bernardo is kind of fuzzy on his own. Now, let's talk about low light. It's okay. It could be better. I'm not going to lie to you. When I took this picture of my Mickey Mouse Christmas ornament and my candy cane that's cherry flavored, I was like, this could be better.
Okay.
But bright light,
it's great.
Fantastic. It's also 13 megapixels.
It's
for $49.
You can get this Sony Xperia TL for $49 with an AT&T contract. Matt, what's the verdict?
We're giving it a 4.5 out of 5.
What?
You see that? I shot it off. I shot
that thing off.
I am so good. Anyway, it's a great phone. It's fast enough for James Bond. It's sure as heck fast enough for you kids. The design could be sleeker, sure, and I want a little more RAM, but it's $49 for a 13 megapixel camera that also happens to be a pretty sweet Android phone. So, no brainer, everybody.
Let's say thanks to Matt.
That does it for Gadget Pr0n.
That's it.
That's it. Well then, while we feel sad, why don't I quickly say that if you're in Ann Arbor, Michigan, December 28th and 29th, you should come see me perform at Connor O'Neill's Bar on Main Street.
That is so much better.
So much better.
Thank you to Janina Gavankar, Kara, Santa Maria, Sarah Underwood. Sarah, get out here. Sarah.
Get out here, everybody.
Maddie, Mira, Tiffany Smith, and
Thank you, Candace. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Matt. You guys are amazing.
y'all are the best. We love you so much, and we wouldn't be here without you guys.
Awkward double date ever.